Hi everyone, it's Tatiana from Tatiana's Everyday Food, and today I'm going to be making a classic and delicious cheesecake. Now this is one of those cakes that's kind of tricky to make. It likes to crack on top, or the center doesn't come out done, or it burns on the outside. So today I'm going to try to give you as many pointers as I can so you get a perfect cake every time. I'm also going to be finishing off with a raspberry coulis. Now I have a separate video where you can learn how to make any kind of fruit coulis, and I think it gives a great complement to this cake. It adds like a little bit of tartness and sweetness, so make sure to watch that video as well. For now, we're going to get started on the cheesecake. I'm going to be using a 9-inch springform pan, and I'm also preheating my oven to 350 degrees. Now it's important to spray the inside of your pan with a non-stick spray. This is going to help the cheesecake pull away from the inside of the pan, and it's going to help prevent from cracking on the top. So I'm going to spray the pan. And now for a graham cracker crust. So I'm going to be using 2½ cups of crumbs. Now I just buy the whole crackers, put them into a food processor, and you get perfect crumbs every time. And they're a lot less expensive than buying already made graham cracker crumbs. I'm going to place them into a large bowl. I'm going to add ½ cup of melted butter. I'm going to use a spatula and really fold everything together. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of white granulated sugar. I'm going to transfer this mixture into my pan. And then I'm going to use my spatula in my hands to really press it into the bottom and the sides of the pan. Just spread it evenly. Now I don't press it too far up the sides, maybe about 1/3 of the way up. Just use your hands and kind of work it up the sides. Make sure you press it really firmly together so that it stays together. So once you have your crust ready, I'm going to place it into my preheated oven, and I'm going to bake it for about 10 minutes, just so the crust turns a nice golden brown color, and we need to bake it beforehand so it stays together. While our crust is in the oven, we can start working on our filling. Now, it's important to have all your ingredients up at room temperature. This is going to allow your cake to cook evenly, and it's going to help prevent cracking on the top. So we're going to be using 32 ounces of whipped cream cheese, and I prefer to use whipped cream cheese because it's already super airy. It's going to cut down on your prep time, and it's really hard to get that much airiness into the cream cheese. We're also going to need 5 large eggs and 1 egg yolk. I have 1 3/4 cup of white granulated sugar. And we're going to need just 1/4 cup of heavy cream. I'm going to place all of my ingredients at the same time into my mixer bowl. And we're going to whisk this on high speed just until everything is really well combined. I'm going to add my eggs, my sugar, and 1/4 cup of this cream. I whisked my filling on high speed for about 5 minutes, and you can see how light it is, and it's a nice thick uniform mixture. I don't have any clumps. So when I bake my cheesecakes, I use a water bath method. I'm going to wrap the bottom of my pan completely in foil, and I'm going to place it onto a large deep pan like this one. I'm going to fill this pan with water once it's in the oven, and what this is going to do is it's going to help prevent the cake from cracking, because the water is going to release all this extra moisture into the oven, and it's also going to help cook the cheesecake evenly on all sides. So just take a large sheet of foil and just carefully fold it over the sides of the pan. I'm going to pour the filling into my prepared pan. And now I'm going to place my pan into my larger pan, and this is ready to go into the oven. I have my oven preheated to 325 degrees. I'm going to add water, about 1 inch of water. I'm going to bake my cheesecake at 325 degrees just for the first 15 minutes, and we need to turn the oven temperature down to 270 degrees and bake the cake for another 1.5 hours. And then once it's done, the center is going to be still slightly wobbly, but you want to make sure that the cake doesn't turn a dark golden brown color on the outside. We just want to open the oven door just a little bit to let some of the hot air out, and just leave the cheesecake in the oven until it's fairly cooled, almost to room temperature. You want to make sure the cheesecake cools as slowly as possible, and this is going to help prevent cracking on the top. You need to store it in the refrigerator overnight until the cake sets completely. I have my cheesecake all done now, and I can't wait to plate it and make it look all pretty. I have my raspberry coulis sauce, so make sure to watch my video to learn how to make this. I think it's a great addition to this recipe. I also have some fresh raspberries, some mint leaves to top everything off with. So let's get started and let's plate this. Now I'm going to take a long cake spatula. I'm going to run it along the inside of the cake. I'm just going to release it from the pan. I'm going to open my springform. Just do this slowly, just so that nothing breaks off. Should come off quite easily. Lift off your pan. Perfect. I've transferred my cake onto a cake platter with the help of a spatula. Now I'm just going to use my raspberry sauce and add some on the top. I'm going to take a spoon and just spread it evenly. I love this color, it looks so rich. I'm going to top it off with some of these fresh raspberries. I'm going to finish everything off with a few fresh mint leaves. These will add a nice contrast of color. When serving your cheesecake, make sure to add lots of the sauce on top. So anything that's left over in the bottle, just add a little bit to each slice. It's gonna add lots of flavor to your cheesecake. And now it's time to enjoy, and I can't wait to try this. I've been waiting like a whole day to eat this. This is one of the best cheesecakes I've ever had. I just love that it's so light and airy, it's so fluffy, and it just melts in your mouth. And then that tartness from the raspberry sauce adds just the right amount of flavor. It's tart, so it breaks through some of the sweetness in the cheesecake. It's such a delicious combination. I can't wait for you guys to try this and make this at home. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube page. You'll get updates every single time I post new videos, and make sure to follow me on Facebook and Instagram.